Craig, I'm gonna run your ass through a compressor, you motherfucker.
Get out of here, Craig.
Get out of here.
You share a name with a DEGRASSI character, and I don't enjoy that.
A DEGRASSI?
Yeah, there's a DEGRASSI character named Craig.
It's Craig from DEGRASSI.
Wow. The Craig Manning?
The Craig Manning. He's a bear, and he's a Discord bot that records.
I think he's more
podcasts.
of a twink, but that's just me.
Yes. Craig's a twink. Oh my goodness. I'd like to dedicate this episode to the love of my life. His name is Tony Anderson. You may know him from season 1, episode 1 of the Hyperfixation, where we talked about Nier Automata. Tony has not listened to a single episode of my podcast. I do not hold this against them. They are not required to. But they reminded me of this just an hour before recording today. That, you're talking about DEGRASSI today? And it's going to be a video format option? You finally made a Tony Core episode. And I went, wait a minute. That's right. You've never listened to a single episode of my show. So, with Susan's permission today, I am dedicating this very episode to Tony. And I'd like to say this now, Tony. You asked me to make jokes about Drake today. We'll find out if that happens or not. I won't tell you when you come home today. You'll just have to find out when this episode releases. You're welcome. I love you. See you later. Bye. Hello, and welcome to the Hyperfixation, where my friends come onto our show to tell us about things that excite them for 30 to 45 minutes or more, depending on the vibe today. I am your host, Roma Osterman, Romi Baloney, with the they and them pronouns. I got rid of my gender years ago. And by years, I mean like probably a year ago. I should probably find out when that anniversary is. And today, I am joined by the wonderful, the exciting, the electrifying Susan.
Hi, I'm Susan Alexandrite. I'm Claudia's little sister and system member. I turn 16 next month. And
Congratulations.
Thank you. And I'm here to talk about a teen show.
I'm so excited for this. I know very little about DEGRASSI. I remember seeing it airing on TV, and I remember being far too busy being a child to pay attention to it with my ADHD. So I'm absolutely thrilled that I get a full presentation on something my childhood desperately missed.
Yes, I brought a slideshow with clips. Not every moment that I'm going to be talking about in here has clips. I mostly save clips for when I think it would enhance what I'm talking about. And a couple of things I was just straight up too lazy to get some clips. But it's going to be good.
I'm excited. And if anything, we could just probably toss YouTube links in the Discord and watch them on our own time.
Yeah.
Or pause the episode and go look at them. So Susan, how did this hyperfixation start for you?
So this is a very old hyperfixation for me. So I was primarily active in our system between 2005 and 2007. And during that time, I was largely pretty unsupervised because my parents were getting divorced. Before bedtime, me and my sister would be in our parents' room watching some TV before bed. And we definitely weren't supposed to be watching Degrassi, but we did instead very sneakily and changed it whenever if mom or dad came into the room. It's really nostalgic for me and Claudia. Mostly season 5 and the JT and Liberty storyline that's in there. I'm going to talk about that at the very end.
Okay.
That plot line is incredibly nostalgic for me because I watched it like week by week as it was happening. So I was like completely immersed.
Oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot remember the last time in my childhood. I can't remember any instance in my childhood where I watched something week to week, but I find it very interesting that a couple episodes before this will release, the Avatar: The Last Airbender episode. What's his name? Oh no, Kiefer from Select and Start was watching Avatar week to week from release to end, basically. And so I think that's just I didn't even know Avatar existed for a while. I was not a TV kid as a kid. I was too busy doodling or on YouTube or something like that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I just think that's super cool.
Yeah. It's really engaging, to be honest. I think that there's something missing from the binge model. And I normally kind of roll my eyes when people say that, but at the same time, I think that there is, maybe it's just nostalgia, but I did kind of enjoy like having a plot line go for longer than if you just watched each episode like in a row. Like if you watch each episode in a row, the JT Liberty storyline is like 5 episodes, so basically like 2 hours. As opposed to like 5 to 7 weeks or whatever.
Yeah. Oh wait. Oh no, you're making a solid point here, and I just put the A, B, and C together of like that would have been a whole month or more, month and a half, 2 months of just obsessing about what's going on in this one specific plot line versus maybe a week of like talking about it with other people and then just kind of moving on to whatever the next plot line is.
Exactly.
Oh my goodness.
You get to savor it.
I need to change how I consume television. Because that sounds a lot more fun than binging One Piece and being like, oh yes, the entire arc of Whole Cake. That was a great month.
I remember when I watched Full Metal Alchemist, I watched an episode a day because that's how it would air on Adult Swim.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember that being also a pretty engaging way to consume it. It was like essentially they would do half the series in 1 month basically, and then they would take a week or so break, and then they would do the rest, the back half of the series.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Adult Swim was the most television I watched as a kid, which is probably not good. But I had insomnia, so that was just what was on Cartoon Network when I was going to bed. So I remember consuming my Inuyasha that way.
Ooh.
But I never knew if it was consecutive or not. It's just, you know, one of those like, it's another episode. I don't know what the plot is, but I'm living. I'm having fun.
Yeah.
So I think I mentioned already, I have like 0 experience with Degrassi. So if I ask questions about who is who, I probably will ask a lot of questions and try to make sure that I'm understanding.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm trying to think. But I'm ready to go if you're ready to go, unless you want to do any prefacing before we begin.
I do want to do one bit of prefacing. Degrassi deals with basically every serious topic under the sun. And we are going to be talking about a couple of potentially triggering things today. I will trigger more on those as we get to it. But I also want to say that I'm going to be talking about some of these in maybe a little bit of a flippant way. And it might sound a little bit like this.
Have you ever read anyone's diary?
Kathleen's, of course. But it was okay, because it came out that she had anorexia and she got counseling.
Melanie?
Kathleen, I don't see what the big deal is. You had anorexia. Your mom is an alcoholic and your boyfriend beat you up. Most people would need counseling for even one of those things.
So,
hey, yo.
Please just remember that it's a TV show and I myself have been through a lot of things. It's okay to talk about some things flippantly.
Yeah. So we all know that these are serious topics, but in regards to Degrassi, we're just gonna kind of just talk about it in the moment, sort of.
Exactly.
Flippantly. Yeah.
Also, I love that clip so much. I absolutely love Melanie there.
Is that a YouTube link you can send me by chance?
So I will put this whole the whole clip file up on YouTube after the fact, so that it's easier for both our viewers and for you to get to. I'm also going to send you like an MP3 version of it. If you're putting this out as an audio episode as well.
Yes, I am.
Okay.
So that works perfectly. So I'll try to also, for the audio only, try to describe things a little bit, but not in like a distracting way.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Perfect. Cool beans.
All right.
I'm ready if you're ready.
All right, get hype. So, what the heck is Degrassi? Never mind, let me go back one slide. What the heck is Degrassi? So Degrassi was created by Kit Hood and Linda Schuyler. It is a franchise of Canadian teen dramas non-consecutively stretching from the 80s into 2017. Well, really 1979 into 2017, but the 1979 one, we'll get to that.
Okay.
So it focuses on kids living on and around Degrassi Street in Toronto, a real street in a real city. And, it focuses on them going to school and having teen problems. And it has an emphasis on showing teenage problems as kids may experience them, and a de-emphasis on adult intervention in said problems. Because this show is about teens. Get out of here, Mom! So let's talk about the lead-in to Degrassi. So it all starts with the short film, Ida Makes a Movie, which is based on a book about cats who make a movie. I have not read said book, and I have not seen said short film.
Me neither.
But that movie led into a series of after-school specials called The Kids of Degrassi Street, which stars some of the same child actors who are going to be in Degrassi proper, but they're playing different characters than they would in actual Degrassi. So then we get into real Degrassi, starting with Degrassi Junior High, which is the first real series. It ran for 3 seasons, and then the school burned down.
What?
Yeah, school burned down at a dance. It's a Degrassi tradition.
Hey, yo.
That's also how season 3 of Degrassi: The Next Generation ended.
Wait, this becomes just like this. This is the signal for the season is over.
just that one time in Next Generation, and the whole school didn't burn down that time.
Okay.
Just the gym. But in junior high, I believe the entire school burned down.
Hey, yo.
So then we go to Degrassi High, which ran for 2 seasons, and then the school shut down. And then we have Degrassi Schools Out, which is the made-for-TV movie finale of Degrassi High, and originally of Degrassi as a whole, because there wasn't going to be any more after this point. It also has the first use of the word fuck on Canadian broadcast television.
Well, fuck. That's cool.
I'll be showing that clip a bit later.
I'm so excited.
So then we have modern Degrassi.
This is the one that I know of.
Yes, this is the one that I think most people know. So Degrassi: The Next Generation takes place 10 years after Degrassi High, and the daughter of a character who was a teen mom in Degrassi Junior High and Degrassi High is starting junior high herself. And so we get to talk about modern teen problems, modern being 2001. it also features some Degrassi High characters as adults. And it ran for 14 seasons.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's a lot of Degrassi.
But can you imagine? Oh, go ahead, sorry.
There's more. Because after the 14th season ended, it got picked up by Netflix as Degrassi Next Class and ran for 4 seasons over 2 years.
Yo.
Yeah. What were you about to say?
Oh, I was just like, wait a minute. So you're telling me the initial class of Degrassi students had kids and then they got their own show?
Basically, yeah. Well, one of them had kids. And she is arguably the main character of the first 3 seasons of Degrassi The Next Generation. And then it becomes way more... It's always been an ensemble production, but this character became way less of a focus. We'll get into her when we get into a plot line about her that I find interesting.
Sounds good.
So, what will I be talking about? We're going to be talking about Degrassi The Next Generation seasons 1 through 5, or, interesting plots and characters and things from there that I want to talk about. And we're going to be talking about contextual pieces from junior high and high. And from later Next Generation when I feel like bringing something up.
Cool.
I will not be talking about most of junior high, or most of high, or the later seasons of Next Generation. So basically anything past like season 7, I'm probably not even going to mention. And okay. I'm not going to talk about Next Class at all because I've not seen it at all.
Okay.
So let's talk about characters and storylines that I love. This is Paige Michalchuk. She is a Canadian national treasure. She is a queen bee in school. She is popular, and the first episode of the first season, she is reimagining herself for the new year. New year, new look, new Paige. And she is stubborn with a good heart and a massive devotion to her friends most of the time. And then we have Teresa Terry McGregor. She is shy but friendly. She hangs out with a popular clique, but has a lot of confidence issues. And starting season 2, she actually becomes a plus-size model. Ooh la la.
Ooh.
And she actually, her actress is a plus-size model in real life.
Hey, yo, make that money. Get that bread.
Okay, so the first plot involves both Paige and Terry. And it's about teen drinking. I didn't know that animation would happen.
It's incredible. Honestly, your slideshow production is absolutely wonderful. I love how cute and pastel it is. It definitely has wonderful high school presentation energy, and I love it so much.
Thank you. This look is going to become less and less appropriate as we go on.
Oh no.
So,
teen drinking,
a Degrassi classic staple. The girls are going to be going to a school dance. Hooray. So Terry has a thing for this guy Spinner, who we'll get to later. And Paige is jealous because she also kind of has a thing for Spinner, but I mostly think it's that she doesn't really want Terry to have Spinner. She just kind of wants to have the option to have him open, That's the sort of person that Paige is, especially in the first season. And so, before the dance, Paige gives Terry a lot of wine that she got her hands on from, I think, her parents.
Why do parents just have all this on-stock alcohol, man?
Sometimes you live in Toronto and you have a lot of wine.
Also, I don't know, as a new parent, I think about it. I'm just I don't know. I wouldn't just have it just chilling.
Yeah, exactly. Have a liquor cabinet.
You lock it up. Do inventory. I don't know.
Yeah. So
but that's just me.
Yeah. Trust me, I would too. Or, give them a safe environment to have a little bit in.
Yeah. Okay, I'm watching you. You're safe. You're good to go. But
so this ends up happening at the dance.
Oh, the fashion.
The fashion is so good. I love Degrassi fashion.
Are you okay?
I'm fine. Never better.
Okay.
Oh no! You got the spins.
Are you okay?
Actually, I don't feel so good.
I told Terry not to drink so much. So, did you save me that dance?
Yeah, I guess.
So yeah, the betrayal.
It stresses me out so much.
Yeah, getting sick at the dance after drinking too much before going to the dance is also a Degrassi classic.
Wait, I just need to know, in terms of like context of the time span. So like they went drinking, and is that like the moment they get to the dance, like the dance just started, or is that like later on in the evening?
I think they got to the dance a little late. And I think that's pretty early when they get to the dance. I think she gets to the dance, dances a little bit, and then immediately throws up.
Oh no, poor baby.
Yeah. Also, every time I watch Terry go down, it's so funny because it's just completely unprompted.
Wait, like, is that like something from an interview where they're like, yeah, I just kind of felt like it? Or...
No, it just, every time I look at it, it's like she had no reason to fall over. She just really just kind of goes for it.
I want to know what that acting direction was. So just like, you know what? Like, why don't you just fall down real quick? You know, like people do.
14-year-old actors. Because all these actors are actually like the age of their characters.
Oh, that's actually kind of cool. I mean, like, to a degree, but yeah.
Yeah, you don't usually get that in television about teens, but Degrassi is really unique in that regard, and I think it really enhances the feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Especially, like, there's the... I don't want to say it's an... How do I want to phrase it? Well, like, somebody will be playing a 16, 17-year-old character, but they're like, early to mid 20s.
Yeah.
So there's a little bit of that, like, oh, I don't look like that. I don't look like a grown person.
Yeah.
At that age.
And you're like, why aren't I beautiful like this grown adult?
Yeah. Why don't I have a face clear of acne? And so it is kind of strikingly noticeable how baby face all of the actors are.
Yeah.
And I didn't really think about it because I'm just so used to adults playing these roles until you mentioned it. Like,
yeah.
Hey, yo, dear babies.
They're very small. Also, as we go on in this presentation, these are basically in order that they come up in the show, more or less. So we'll get to see a few of these characters over and over, like getting older.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
You'll grow up with them.
Yeah.
Just really fast.
Yeah. Also, the end of the betrayal here.
Are you feeling better? Look, here are those notes back. Thanks again.
Yeah, Tara, thanks, but Spinner's gonna use my notes from now on.
Hi.
What?
Mm-hmm.
What a bitch.
Yeah.
Also, that girl's pigtails was really cute.
Yeah.
I like that hairstyle a lot. Can I ask you a question?
Mm-hmm.
Has anybody ever done that, like, shitty of a move to your face? Maybe I've just been blessed and, have not had somebody do something like that, like that big of a fuck you to my face before. Like, like, not experienced that once in my entire school career.
I mean, like, kind of, yes, because I was bullied a lot in middle school and the beginning of high school before I went to sleep for 14 years.
Mm-hmm.
But in a sense, yes, but never anyone that I would consider to be a friend exactly. At least not in like a betrayal kind of way.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
no, like it's usually a much more like harsher reality version than like the dramatized like, haha, I betrayed you, bestie.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. So next, by the way, this next bit happens in the same episode as this. We're going to talk about James Tiberius JT York. So he's the class clown. He's an aspiring performer of some type. I think he's initially kind of like more of a comedian type and then more of just a general actor. It's kind of vague. But at least he doesn't want to be a musician like 90% of the characters on this show in later seasons. And he also does not know how to shut up ever.
He should be on my podcast.
He should.
I just love his name though. I don't know if it was a writer's decision or what, but James Tiberius York is such a goddamn name. That is so classy. And I'm not even trying to make fun of it. Like it's got original character energy. And I really love it.
Yeah. It's very good. So, and we also have his best friend, Toby Isaacs, Jewish nerd icon. He's JT's best friend. They're such buddies. He's a computer whiz. He's not as popular as JT, but he's basically absorbed into JT's friend group because they're friends.
Gotcha.
So, next we're going to talk about internet pornography. So,
oh boy!
While everyone else is at the dance, Toby and JT are having a night on the internet.
Oh, what year did this episode come out?
2001.
I don't even remember about the internet in 2001. Oh, goodness.
It was very slow. So, JT's cousin, who gets mentioned every once in a while as just somebody who will, like, hook JT up with some stuff. Like, the end of the season, JT gets, like, some ecstasy from his cousin for a party.
Ecstasy?
Yeah, ecstasy, you know, the classic designer drug. You know, MDMA, Molly, X.
Goodness.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious.
That's an interesting episode. I originally had it in this PowerPoint, but then I just really had not much to say about it.
I understand.
So JT's cousin gave him a list of porn URLs, and they're gonna look at them.
Oh my god.
So they struggle with the internet connection for a lot of the night, and also with the like child lock password. But they eventually crack it, and they do get to look at some naked people.
Good for them.
And then...
Whoa. Are those real? Real something.
My God.
Actually, I'd say silicone.
Or saline solution.
Oh my god.
Just imagine the most embarrassing possible moment of your life.
Yo.
Then multiply it by eternity.
They made us look at porn sites with them, including sites with men, to teach us a lesson about objectifying women.
They made you look at porn?
With them?
Male and female?
Not so loud, okay?
Losers!
My
Yep.
god.
Just a weird little B plot.
You know, I'm gonna insert a micro self rant of I just don't know how I feel about like referring to a human being with like consciousness and identity as like female.
Oh yeah, male
You know
and
what
female,
I mean?
yeah.
So I'm like, okay, but I do love that they're like, you don't get to objectify women there, kids. We're gonna look at everybody.
Yeah.
as a family.
Yeah, Toby's parents really handled that well, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that story. I think it's funny.
That was wonderful. I'm so glad I got to experience that.
So, let's talk about Emma. So Emma, who we briefly saw at the end of the clip there, is the daughter of Spike. She was born during DEGRASSI Junior High. We'll talk about Spike in a second.
Okay.
She's arguably the main character of seasons 1 through 3. She is a stubborn, in-your-face activist to probably an obnoxious degree. I find it endearing and funny, especially when she's just like objectively wrong. Like she goes on this huge thing in an episode about GMOs and like the cafeteria serving food that's been like, you know, that has vegetables and things that have been genetically modified. And she's just completely incorrect in being so like staunchly against it, in my opinion. But anyway.
Yeah, I remember the GMO thing in high school. I think it was high school. You know, I think it depends on what you define as a GMO.
Yeah.
But everything's kind of genetically modified, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Like corn, bananas, those are not good in their original forms. It's just so 2001, or maybe it was 2002, but I really love it.
I'm excited to see it. Oh my goodness.
We're not going to be talking about it here, really. I just wanted to bring that up.
Hey, if you happen to find a YouTube clip and you send it over, I'll drink the juice.
Yes. So, we're okay. There we go. So we're going to be talking about her mother, Christine Spike Nelson. She's nicknamed after her hair in junior high school and high school. I got this like 90s PowerPoint that I got a few slides on for when we're talking about DEGRASSI High and DEGRASSI Junior High. And for these, it had like quotes. So I found random quotes from these characters to talk about them. So I
love it.
When Spike is asked about abortion in one episode, she says she just believes in minding her own business, which we stan. Absolute queen.
Mind your damn business.
So she became teen pregnant at 14, giving birth to Emma in junior high. Yeah, 14. She eventually drops out of school to become a hairstylist. And she is a lot like Emma, where she's just absolutely stubborn, but has a good heart. And
I love to hear it.
Yeah. And we should also talk about a teacher at DEGRASSI, who was originally a character in DEGRASSI Junior High and High, Archibald Snake Simpson. Snake was originally in DEGRASSI Junior High. He is in all of DEGRASSI. All of it. He's been on the show for 40 years.
I hope it's on. Is he still alive?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I hope that somebody does a very cool, like, honorific of some sort of DEGRASSI on his gravestone. I think that would be very cool.
Yeah. I think he's only like 50 or 60.
Oh, okay. So he's still pretty young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, he was a student in DEGRASSI Junior High and DEGRASSI High. He became a teacher for DEGRASSI The Next Generation. He's like the computer lab teacher. And then he later becomes the principal of DEGRASSI. He is the biggest nerd in the world. He's a sweetheart. He's bisexual, at least in the books. Like one book in particular, like confirms Snake as bisexual.
Canon?
Yep.
Canon.
There's no reason. There's nothing in the show that contradicts it. So, as far as I can tell, it's canon.
We love bisexuals here on the Hyperfixation. Let's go.
So he marries Spike in Degrassi: The Next Generation, becoming Emma's stepdad, which is a whole plot line where Emma's like very resentful towards him, and she slowly warms up to him. It's great. It's fun. Snake rules. We'll be seeing him in several of these clips.
I'm so excited.
So let's talk about a brief history of Emma's parentage. So the father of Emma is Shane McKay. So Shane McKay was a character in Degrassi Junior High, and I think just Degrassi Junior High. He sucked as a father. He was a teenager, a pretty young teenager at that. He tried to pay what little child support he was able to pay, but also sometimes he would pretend that he didn't have money some weeks because he wanted to like buy an album or concert tickets or something. You know, like being a teenage boy. Just sometimes you're going to be irresponsible.
Yeah.
So,
he's a child.
Yeah. So then there's this episode where he and a friend go to a concert, and before the concert, they drop acid. Yes. Some would say that acid was the ecstasy of its day. So the next day, Shane doesn't come home that night. And the next day they find him under a bridge. He either jumped off or he fell off, and he got a traumatic brain injury.
Oh, I thought he was just chilling under the bridge. I didn't know that he had a fight with gravity towards the bridge.
Yeah.
Or away from the bridge. Oh my goodness.
Is
he okay?
No. He has brain damage. And he is the first of many characters in Degrassi history who will go into the hospital and never come out.
No.
Yeah. So Shane is gone from the show. And that's
Goodbye,
the last
Dad.
we hear from him for like 15 years.
Wait, you said 15 years?
Mm-hmm.
He comes back?
In a sense. So,
boy.
There is a plot line at the beginning of season 3 where Emma starts to get really curious about her parentage. She knows Shane's name, and she has like a very hazy memory of meeting him when she was like 3. So she starts Googling around, and she finds him listed in a group home, and she's like,
"Yo,
oh, he must like be a doctor there. I don't know why he like never visits me or anything. Like, I feel pretty abandoned by this." And her mother refuses to tell her anything. So she and I think Craig comes along for this. We'll get to Craig. But he doesn't matter for this plotline, really. They go to the group home and they ask for Shane McKay. And they're brought to a room for a patient. Shane's traumatic brain injury made him unable to take care of himself, and his parents have kept him in group homes since Degrassi Junior High.
Did the show indicate that he was in good care at these group homes, or was he like not was it not good?
I think he is in good care.
Okay.
But I think he is pretty lonely. I'm not sure if it's stated whether his parents actually visit him in these group homes. And I know that Spike doesn't visit him, and Emma doesn't visit him as a result. Let's meet Shane in what I really hope is the next clip.
You have pretty blonde hair like Emma.
Stop it!
She's my daughter. But she doesn't love me.
Why would you say that?
She never comes to visit me. She doesn't care about me.
Maybe she couldn't find you. Until now. I'm Emma.
No, but Emma's just little. She You're Emma. Don't be sad. Everything's okay. Your daddy's here now. Daddy's here.
I left that bit at the end to just show how jarring the intro is sometimes.
Oh, yeah. Have you seen that TikTok trend where it's like the most upsetting, scary, and like terrible thing happening to the characters in a show ever, and then just like the really upbeat like ending?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely Whiplash, but oh my goodness.
DEGRASSI Junior High did that a lot, where the ending song is like, and they would, some episodes would end really like dramatically, like one character's parents die at the end of an episode, and they don't play the song for a minute, and then they kick it in. And then, of course, the school burning down, fade in the end song.
There should be 2 endings.
There really should be. In DEGRASSI Next Generation, they do have 2 endings.
Okay.
They have a couple of different endings.
For this specific reason?
Basically, yeah.
Good. They figured it out. Good. No, that scene was very impactful. That was that got my feels, even though I haven't had that like in-depth attachment to those characters from the short period of time I've known they existed. I'm already like, oh no.
Yeah, there's some really good acting in this show.
Mm-hmm.
This storyline is very good. It's also very problematic for reasons we're about to get into.
I was waiting for it.
So first of all, Emma goes home and she's like, what are you doing to Shane? Like, why is he here? Why isn't he like being taken care of? And she's like, his parents put him in the home shortly after his brain injury. And Emma's like, why didn't you stop them? Like, that's horrible of you to let them do that. And she's like, I was 16. I could do nothing.
Yeah.
And it's really rough to watch. It's a great scene. So then Shane shows up at their house. I forget how he gets there exactly. I think he just like leaves the group home one day and travels by bus there. I think maybe Emma left her address for like letters.
Yeah, okay.
So Shane shows up while Spike is alone at home. And Spike is like 9 months pregnant at this point with her and Snake's child. And Shane shows up and like he does not take anything well. He also starts getting violent. He starts like throwing things around the house, and you know, the usual thing where people with traumatic brain injuries are shown as being like violent and like prone to sudden outbursts and things. Yikes. Eventually Emma comes home and she calms him down and helps her mother give birth, because that's, of course, her water breaks like during this because it's DEGRASSI.
It was in the script. It had to happen.
Yeah. So.
Oh my goodness.
Afterwards, Emma and Shane are like sitting on the front porch, and the like car from the group home pulls up, and Alay's like, "All right, come on, Shane, we gotta go back." And Emma promises to visit him sometimes, and then Shane is never seen or heard from ever again.
So I just want to backtrack for 2 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
So he, he took a bus to get there, but
something
a lady
like
from
that.
The group home like figured out where he was to come pick him up and was like, "All right, get in the car."
Yeah, I think probably either Snake, Spike, or Emma called the group home and was like, "Hey, we've got Shane here. Can you come pick him up?"
Okay. Yeah, okay. Because for a second I was like, wait, somebody from the group home was just chilling outside during this whole event.
They're just waiting in the car, blasting some tunes.
And there's cartoon scenes like that. I can't remember what off the top of my head where, you know, they're just like jamming in the car and then the whole like fight scenes going on in the background through the windshield or something. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So is this the only time we see Shane?
Yep, this is the last time we ever see Shane or hear about Shane. On one hand, I'm glad that we got some closure on this.
Yeah. I'm grateful I got anything out of this.
Yeah. At least he doesn't like permanently go into the hospital and never come back. Like plenty of other characters. Like there's this girl in Degrassi High who gets cancer, and her whole cancer storyline, it's basically relegated to B plot. And then she we find out that she goes into remission and starts like traveling with her father to like celebrate life or whatever off screen. Like we hear about it from her friends.
Okay.
And we never get to see much of anything.
I wonder if something with the contract happened or something. I don't know.
I think that I don't know, really.
Yeah. Sometimes they have to change the plot because something's going on with the actor, and the actor doesn't want the character to die or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah. I'm not sure what the deal was with LB, but
or the writing room didn't know what to do with that afterwards.
I think that might be more of it. Or they just don't want to deal with the consequences of it.
Like, I don't know how to write this cancer plot line.
Yeah.
She's fine. She's just trapped.
Yeah. So both Shane and LB, the girl who got cancer, they drop into what is called the DEGRASSI black hole. A lot of characters will drop into the black hole over the course of the series without ceremony most of the time. They'll just like stop being in the show. Yep, it just sort of happens. Spinner has a sister for a couple of seasons, and then we just kind of never see her again.
I had to write down on my notepad the DEGRASSI black hole because it gave me an idea.
Okay.
Wait, so Spinner did what?
We'll get to Spinner in a minute, but he had a sister in seasons like 2 through maybe 3 or 4. And then she just like is never seen or heard from ever again. Yep.
Why? I feel like I watch a lot of, by proxy, this is another shout out to Tony. Tony watches a lot of those YouTube videos that like hyper analyzes like all the things I hate about the Flash CW. This one's fresh on the mind because I woke up really early in the morning and it gave me an anxiety attack, but not in the sense of like that the video was bad. It was just very intense. Like my eyes open. It's just like, here's everything wrong with the writing room of the Flash CW. And I was so captivated because the guy had gravitas, and I was like, okay, the show sucks, I guess. But that was one of the things that he kept mentioning, that it's like, you bring in this character and you don't do anything with them, and then they're just gone, and it's just like, what's going on with that?
Yeah. I think it's more of a problem for like an ensemble show like Degrassi, whereas like you really want to, in theory, have stuff for everybody, but you just don't.
Yeah.
So let's move on to the juiciest plot line in the first 3 seasons of Degrassi. This is when the show starts really moving from after-school special into soap opera. So let's talk about Craig Manning. He's a troubled photographer and later musician, because they decided to drop the photography and just have him be a musician because Jake Epstein, the actor, can sing and play guitar. He's very talented.
Talented young man.
Yeah. He has an abusive father and a dead mother. When his mother died, he was sent to go live with his abusive father, and he was cut off from his stepfather and half-sister that he like really cares for. Escapes his abusive father in his premiere episodes in season 2, and goes to live with his stepfather, Joey Jeremiah, who is a character from Degrassi Junior High and Degrassi High. We'll get to him in a moment.
Okay.
We also have Ashley Kerwin. Ashley Kerwin is a class president, straight A student. One time she did ecstasy, lost all her friends, and became goth, as we all do.
As we all do.
As we all do. I really love goth Ashley. I didn't even bother putting a picture of her from this season because I just really love this look. It's so good.
But she looks just almost exactly like my cousin. My cousin was of the correct age for this timeline and that year of fashion. And every time I saw my cousin, she was an absolute hero and icon in my eyes. I didn't even know what goth was or meant, but I was like, I need to look like a vampire like my cousin right now.
Yes. Yeah, so she goes into a huge downward spiral in season 1. NBD.
Oh no.
That's what the whole ecstasy thing was kind of a culmination of. She's somebody who like really values her space, and she was like very rapidly losing complete control over her whole life. In season 1, it was a mess. And her friends realized that she was kind of a drag at the time. So anyway, she made new friends. Good. And she started dating Craig in season 3.
Craig the bear.
Yeah. So Craig and Ashley, they started dating in season 3. They're going strong. Craig, also, this is the point where I have to start talking about teenage sexual intercourse a lot. So be prepared for that if you get weirded out by teenage sexuality, which, it's a normal part of life, but whatever. So Craig wants to have sex with Ashley, but Ashley isn't comfortable with the fact that she loves him, but he can't seem to say, I love you back. And this most likely stems from, intimacy issues from like his abusive father. And the fact that at the end of season 2, his father actually dies. R.I.P. Mr. Manning, we hardly knew ye. You shouldn't have driven so fast. I originally had that in this presentation, but I realized that I didn't have a lot to say on it. It was kind of depressing.
I have the crying chopper. Can we get much higher? Playing in my head right now. Sorry.
So, Ashley throws a birthday party for Paige at her house and tells Craig to stay the night after. And Craig proceeds to brag about it to his friend Spinner. And Ashley finds out that he's been bragging about it to Spinner and gets really mad because, as she should get very mad. Not cool. So Craig storms out. And now we get to talk about Manuela Santos. Manny is Emma's best friend. She's sort of like a hanger-on. In season 3, the start of season 3, she decides that she doesn't want to be cute anymore. She's done with being cute. She wants to be hot. And she gets a hot makeover and gets very confident in herself and has some of the most iconic moments in Degrassi history, which I will play for you right now.
Absolutely.
I don't think you are prepared for this.
No, but I'm here for it. Oh! Hey, yo!
Manny, I've been meaning to talk to you about your attire. It contravenes the code of conduct.
But everybody wears crop tops.
It's not about the crop top. I expect you to show up tomorrow in an outfit that does not reveal your undergarments.
But lowriders are in, and
I've had complaints, so no more visible underwear.
Do you want to get suspended?
What? I'm not breaking any rules.
Minnie, Mr. Radich said?
He said no visible underwear.
Do you see any underwear? No.
That's right. Because I'm not wearing any.
Yep. Absolutely iconic.
Oh my god. Of course the years and years of your shoulders are visible and you're out of code, you know, but to get that far down the hallway with the whale tail just flying high, that is insanely the confidence, the oh my god.
I have to say, Principal Radich there, he kind of handled it like an absolute pro.
Yeah, I was waiting for like you know, the part of me, my high school self was ready to just lunge, and I was like, no, actually that was a pretty great way to address that.
It was perfectly reasonable.
Perfectly reasonable. Her response, is that reasonable? I would say so.
Absolutely, sure. So after this episode, boys want her, girls are not as fond of her anymore. Her friend Emma is not pleased with her. Emma and Manny have a lot of fights. A lot of fights.
I'm sure.
So, after Craig leaves the party, a challenger approaches.
I note to self, me or Kingdom, please put the challenger approaches noise in here, please, right now. Oh my god.
So Manny follows Craig out of the party and goes home with him to comfort him. And they end up having sex.
Oh my.
So, Craig and Ashley actually make up the following Monday. And Craig begins to date both Ashley and Manny at the same time.
This has happened to me before. Not one for one, but I did have a guy who managed to date me and another girl. But I think the part about it that really got me was that we looked identical. We looked exactly the same.
He has a type.
And after we figured it out, then she and I started talking to each other. But
God.
No, that's wild. That's nutty.
And here's the nuttier thing. I mentioned earlier Craig's like new adoptive father / stepfather, Joey Jeremiah, who is character on Degrassi Junior High and Degrassi High. Let's talk about Joey Jeremiah quickly. So he was a class clown goofball. He had rock star dreams. He dated his like longtime sweetheart, Caitlin Ryan. Caitlin and Joey are like a Degrassi OTP. I think old school Degrassi fans will go on about Caitlin and Joey forever. So they dated until the finale, School's Out, the TV movie finale I mentioned before, where they say fuck.
Fuck.
Basically, this same thing happens, where Joey wants to have sex with Caitlin, and also he like proposes to her. I think in an effort to have sex with her, but also because he genuinely does love her.
If you like it, then you should have put a ring on it.
Exactly.
Oh
and
my
Caitlin
goodness.
does not like this. She says that getting engaged right out of high school is a bad idea, which it is.
Yeah.
And they break up, more or less, or they're like teetering on breaking up. And that's when Tessa Campanelli moves in. So Tessa Campanelli is Joey's summer fling. She is not really an important character outside of School's Out. She dates boys. She has boy problems. It doesn't matter. But she and Joey actually have a lot of chemistry. Their like romance over the summer is really cute. And
that's so sweet.
Yeah. So Tessa thinks that Joey and Caitlin are done, basically. And Caitlin, meanwhile, makes up with Joey.
Oh no.
Joey is dating two girls at the same time. History rhymes. So let's go to some clips. First of all, Roma, pop quiz. How do you think this ends for Joey?
Is it a pop quiz or is it a trick question? Because I feel like it's it should end badly, but I would be absolutely blown away or ecstatic if this becomes like a polyamory thing.
Ooh. Well,
that would be very nice.
Let's find out.
Let's recap the Jeremiah summer, shall we? Joey Jeremiah spends his summer dating Caitlin. Shut up. And fucking Tessa. Oh, what ethics. What a
That's
hero.
Caitlin,
Let's have
by
a
the
great
way.
big hand, shall we?
Yeah.
Big round of applause, hey? Yes, all right.
Yikes. Oh, wait, is that the principal?
Yeah, that's Snake.
Oh, he's so tall.
That's why he's called Snake.
Oh.
He's tall and skinny.
Snake's got a
That
really
tracks.
weird sense of humor.
Tessa Campanelli? You were fucking Tessa Campanelli?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, so Joey loses both girls. As he should.
Yeah. You know, I had a small hope that maybe polyamory had a win with a rocky start. It shouldn't have started like that, but maybe everything ends well. No.
There are a lot of characters in DEGRASSI who are poly in their hearts, but that manifests in them cheating on every single partner they ever have. And it makes me sad. And I know that Linda Schuyler, one of the creators, after DEGRASSI Next Class ended, she was talking about like stuff she had wanted to do in the future, and one of them is like poly relationships. Which, you know, I hope one day we get that.
That would be neat.
It would be. So let's talk about Craig's crazy Christmas here. So Manny asks Craig to break up with Ashley as a Christmas gift to her. Because Manny is aware that Craig and Ashley are still... So after some back and forth over a couple of days, Craig agrees. And then he doesn't, but tells Manny that he did. Mm-hmm.
Ayo. Oh, real quick. Is the screen supposed to be black?
Yes. I forgot
okay.
to make a slide for this.
No worries. Okay, I was just making sure.
Yeah. So he buys Manny a bracelet for Christmas. And when he's hanging out with Ashley one night, she goes snooping through his backpack. So,
That's a pretty bracelet.
Ashley assumes that this bracelet and the, like, sweater, I believe, as well, are for her. And then later on...
Where'd you get it?
Oh.
Just a guy. You know, a guy I've been dating a while. Really? Who? Just a guy. Was it Craig? Ashley, I'm sorry. He didn't want me to say anything, 'cause he knew you'd be upset about him moving on so quickly. Moving on, we're still together.
Anyway, Craig loses both girls. As well he should.
So is this the third time this has happened, or the second time? Like in terms of DEGRASSI, the second time? I'm gonna make a tally. The two-timer tally. Two-timer tally. See if it happens again.
Yeah. Also, I forgot to make slides for this part too. My apologies. But
no worries.
So a few episodes later, Manny's been getting sick a lot lately. And actually, she hasn't had her period for a bit.
Did you use a condom?
Oh no!
What?
Oh no!
I'm sorry.
Manny. You said it was okay. And, I thought that meant, you were on the pill.
It was my first time. I meant that it was okay.
Manny, is something wrong?
No. It's not. Can't be.
Well, which is it? Nothing's wrong or nothing can be wrong? Because you're not making any sense.
Nothing's wrong. Okay.
Okay. Well, see you.
My man's about to throw up.
I
Oh
would
my
too.
god. Oh my god.
Let me just make sure what clip is next. Okay.
All right. Oh, you go.
Yeah, so this is why communication during sex is key. So Manny is pregnant. So Manny actually finds a safe adult to talk to. Manny confides in Emma's mom, Spike, that she's pregnant because Spike can definitely relate to being pregnant at 14. And she comforts Manny and walks her through her options and through telling her mother. And so initially, Manny's like, I guess I'll keep the baby. Because her friend Emma, despite like all of her other activism stuff, is like so staunchly anti-abortion. Because like she's like, what if I was aborted? I was an accidental pregnancy. But Roma, what if Jesus was aborted?
My cat's here and just fine. I don't know. Sorry.
No,
That's my favorite joke to make. I'm so sorry. I don't know. Different timeline, I guess.
Yep. So after babysitting Emma's half-brother, Manny realizes that she cannot go through with this pregnancy, and she decides to have an abortion. Craig does not take it well.
Okay.
So there was an abortion episode of Degrassi High. It was actually the season 2 opener. And when that aired on PBS in the United States, PBS cut the ending of the abortion episode. They cut some parts with protesters outside of the abortion clinic. And these episodes, the 2 episodes here, the distributor for Degrassi in America at the time, cut these episodes entirely for multiple years. These were considered like these episodes just would not air in the US.
Like, because I am curious, just because of the controversy.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So producers Linda Schuyler and Kit Hood were not pleased about either one of those. Hood said of the Degrassi High censorship, quote, "It gives an American ending, happy, safe, but incomplete." So I just wanted to mention that. Anyway, let's move on. Let's talk about another character. We're going to talk about Sean Cameron. So Sean...
He looks like, I'm sorry, he looks like a 3D animated character in this picture. So I was like, is there a game?
In what way?
Degrassi the game? Just, like how the new Star Wars game, how they look really realistic, but they still look like animated. He's got that energy, but it's also because he's on my screen like this big right now.
That's fair. So Sean is a troubled foster kid. He has a good heart, but also a lot of anger issues. He transferred schools to Degrassi from Wasaga Beach, which I don't know where that is in Canada, because he got into a fight with a boy at his old school and beat him in the head so hard that he deafened him.
What?
Yeah. So
why?
Yeah. So he was moved to Toronto to live with his brother. He's been held back a year because he switched in the middle of a year. And he's been trying really hard to keep things under control. In season 1, he enters a really cute relationship with Emma, but they break up after Sean shoves her because Emma is trying to break up a fight between him and Jimmy, who we'll get to. And it was just sort of like an accident mostly, but Emma immediately is like, all right, goodbye.
Peace.
Which, good for her.
Yeah.
And Jay Hogarth. Jay Hogarth is Degrassi's bad boy. He has never had a good idea in his entire life. He is a bad influence to everyone. And I love to hate him. He's a great character.
His little backwards hat.
The backwards
He's such
hat.
a bad boy. Oh. He's gonna say, no, Mom. I'm gonna swear on my Xbox Live.
Exactly. So, let's talk about Sean Slim Shady Cameron, starring in 12.8748 kilometer.
What?
That's 8 miles in kilometers.
What?
Yeah, so Sean goes through a bad boy phase in season 3 where he starts dressing like Eminem. Okay, so like the short version of this storyline is that Sean sort of falls in with Jay's friend group, which leads him to start stealing, and it's the most infuriating thing to watch as Sean just like implodes a very nice life for himself. He just like throws it away for no reason. He basically calms down most of the way through the season because his brother, who he lives with, is moving, and Sean decides to emancipate himself rather than move again and repeat yet another grade. Degrassi loves an emancipated minor.
I actually am very curious on the background logistics of him emancipating himself and staying behind. Like, does he, like, in the sense of, like, does he have to get a job and work while he's in high school and pay rent and pay the water bill and get renter's insurance? Like, or does he end up living with a friend?
He lives by himself. I believe how it's explained in the show, I don't know how true it is, but Canada has some sort of like system for like emancipated teens.
Oh,
where they're like
I forgot it's in Canada.
Yeah, they provide housing, and as long as they like have an adult sponsor and they like keep their grades up and things and like aren't acting like delinquents.
Okay.
And so he has a teacher who helps him emancipate himself like as his adult sponsor, and in exchange for being his sponsor, he says that he'll only help him if Sean cleans up his act, because he really likes Sean, but Sean is acting like a shithead. Also, I made this poster. It's a Photoshop of Eminem's 8 Mile poster, but with Sean Cameron's head on it.
You did a fantastic job. As I'm looking back and forth between my
I also changed the starring names here: Sean Cameron, Emma Nelson, Jay Hogarth. Please ignore the H. There definitely is no H that I wrote there.
No H. Oh, that's wonderful.
Thank you. I'm very proud of it.
Oh my goodness.
The important thing to take away from this storyline, the reason that I include it in general, besides wanting to show off my Photoshop job, is that Jay is a corrupting influence. So remember, Jay, bad boy. I made a slide for this section, but forgot to use it. The fabulous emancipation of one Sean Cameron.
I keep hearing Sean Connor.
The fabulous emancipation of Sean Connery. So next, we have James Jimmy Brooks. It's Drake.
Woo!
He's a star basketball player for the Degrassi High team. He's the son of like 2 doctors or 2 lawyers or something. His parents are rich and like kind of neglect him. They don't have a lot of time or attention to give him. He dated Ashley a couple of times in seasons 1 and 3. But they did not last. They've had an on-again, off-again relationship for like the first 6 seasons. before Ashley leaves the show. And then we have Gavin Spinner Mason, who I've mentioned a couple of times now. He is a himbo ADHD king, like canonically ADHD.
I love him.
Which is, I believe, where the nickname Spinner comes from, like hyperactive.
In my brain, I'm like, nowadays it would be for fidget spinner.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So he's initially like a bully character to the younger class characters, JT, Toby, that group. But he like softens up over the first couple of seasons. He's a sweetheart. He is best friends with Jimmy until season 2, when he like steals Jimmy's iPod and sells it for reasons I don't really remember. They eventually make up again towards the end of season 3, and during this time here that we're talking about, they are currently friends again. And now we're going to talk about Rick Murray. So Rick Murray is a minor supporting character for a few episodes. He is shy, but with a nerdy bend. He is actually Terry's secret admirer. He does this whole thing where he like sends her letters and roses and things for a little bit, and then they start dating. And he immediately gets violent with her.
You know, I literally like looked at the picture. I'm like, he's got the aesthetic I love to see in like my dreamy boy, like secret admirer. He's nerdy. He's a little shy. I'm like, okay, checkbox. And then violence. And I'm like,
yeah.
Damn it.
Rick should have gone to therapy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I highly recommend it.
So Terry breaks up with Rick during the episode where he gets violent with her.
Good for her.
But then later on, he promises that he's changed and they get back together. Later in the season, like 10 episodes later or something, Terry's friends don't buy it, and they already don't really like Rick. The friend group takes this trip to like the beach, some kind of like secluded beach spot near the woods. And then Rick and Paige get into a fight on this trip, and Rick storms off into the woods, and Terry follows. And then they get into a fight. And here is where I get you a clip.
Come back. We'll ignore Paige.
No, let's walk.
It's really far.
She called me a psycho.
That's just Paige being Paige.
That makes it okay? My feelings mean nothing to you?
Whoa. Rick.
Don't dare choose Paige over me again. Don't you dare.
I'm going back.
Okay? You can't leave. Do you understand?
Rick, you're hurting me.
You're not going. You're not. You're not. You're not.
Yep.
She doesn't go into the DEGRASSI black hole, right?
So here's the thing. Terry goes into a coma.
Oh no.
After Rick rocks her world. So thank you. The aftermath of this is that Rick transfers schools. Terry goes into a coma, but does eventually recover fully. No traumatic brain injury or anything. And then she switches schools and leaves the show and is never seen again. And the suddenness of this was genuinely traumatic to Terry's actress. Like, all of a sudden, she was just completely dropped from the show.
What? Why?
No reason. Her actress eventually focused on modeling full-time.
Hey, make the bread. Make the bread.
She
Shake
and another actress from the show do like YouTube videos together. They're just like friends in real life, and they hang out a lot. They did a couple of videos where they talked about their experience with DEGRASSI, which is where she mentions like that this whole thing was like traumatic for her.
Yeah. That the acting in that scene was very good. It definitely full sent me.
Oh yeah.
And I can imagine, like, you know, sometimes acting can feel really real, and then on top of that, to just start getting that exit out of the show entirely of like, wait, hold on, what? Like, no, I can imagine that being absolutely terrible.
Exactly.
Oh
yeah.
my goodness.
Shout out to Ephraim Ellis, the actor who plays Rick. He is such a good actor and does such a good job with Rick.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, enough of that. Let's have a pool party.
Hey.
So hot tub party time. All the kids are hanging out. They're goofing around a little bit.
Kids
and then,
being kids.
Yeah, kids being kids. And then...
And now, diving for Canada in the sexy red trunks, James Tiberius York.
Look, it's a stack of dimes.
Yep.
That's so rude.
That's traumatic. So, Roma, I'm going to tell you something, and then I'm going to immediately move on from it. But believe it or not, this pantsing will cascade into JT getting stabbed to death in 2 years. So, anyway, JT also happens to sneak a peek at Craig, Manny's last boyfriend, in the locker room. Hang on. I have a clip.
Was that what I thought it was?
Maybe.
Craig, mano a mano. Manny is my girlfriend.
Okay.
And I need you to respect that.
I do. Whatever.
It's just that, you know, sometimes you hang down and it's... I mean, around. Sometimes you hang around and it's just not...
What are you looking at?
What are you talking about?
What do you mean, what am I talking about? You were checking out my...
No, I wasn't. That's not...
What?
No, Spinner, I wasn't. It's the lie. That's the whole...
Axel, maybe
lie.
Move, but...
It's
Axel.
a lot. Kitty.
Uh-oh. So I'm gonna make this is a joke, but it's a more so of a yeah, I'm gonna say the joke and then there's an understanding. So this is what happens when you expose your children to gay porn.
Oh no.
And now he's a bisexual.
So this incident makes him feel worse because he's actually currently dating Manny. And now he feels like really insecure about his penis size. So he confers with his friends Danny and Toby, who really caused this, I must note. And they get him a penis pump. And I must show a clip.
How do they acquire that? They're children.
The internet.
Oh, that's
yeah. Oh, Manny is currently over, and she stepped out to use the bathroom.
You can do this.
Oh, I can explain.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. It's a very embarrassing day for JT. I just thought this screenshot from Austin Powers was appropriate.
It is, no, it is. I will say that I will admit that I don't entirely understand how those pumps work. And also I'm questioning if is that something you're supposed to use right beforehand, or is that something you're supposed to use regularly to, like, I don't know how it works.
I think the idea is right beforehand, and I think the idea is I'm not even gonna pretend I know what the idea is.
I have no idea. Someone's gonna come in the Discord and be like, "This is how it works," and I'm like, "Stop!" No.
Please do not inform me how the penis pump works.
It's gonna be my lifelong mystery. Take it to my deathbed.
So Manny breaks up with him after that, not because of the size of his penis, but because of the size of his immaturity.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so I know I already did one Eminem reference, but guess who's back?
Back again. Ricky's back. Don't tell Terry.
Well, luckily you don't have to tell Terry because Terry's gone from the show at this point.
Wait, why did they keep Rick around?
So they brought Rick back for they brought him back. He's an interesting character to explore here. So Rick comes back to DEGRASSI at his own insistence, because despite moving around a lot, his family moves around a lot. It's the only school that he's ever felt like he's belonged in.
What happened at the other schools?
Well, I guess he was probably bullied a lot because he's a big nerd. With anger issues. He was probably called a psycho a lot, you know.
True.
So no one is happy about this.
Nope.
Emma and Paige start an anti-violence task force, which is basically the make Rick know that he's unwelcome gang.
The unwelcome committee.
Yeah. Rick gets pretty mercilessly tormented, despite the fact that he's apparently done a lot of anger management work and is like really genuinely trying to make amends.
Oh no!
And just 1 second.
I appreciate self-growth. I love self-growth. People can change and can improve and not be like problematic or bigoted, you know, after some effort, but like, oh no.
Yeah, exactly. So Emma eventually takes mercy on Rick and tries to be like friendly with him, seeing that he is really trying. And Toby recently kind of broke up with JT. And he befriends Rick as another fellow outcast, because in breaking up with JT, he's kind of lost a lot of his friends, because, you know, that friend group is mostly JT's friend group. So, for the next few episodes, there's some like light C plots involving Rick and Toby. They're kind of fun together in like a really strained way. So then Rick joins the Trivia Bowl team. So DEGRASSI is in a trivia contest against another school. The team includes Rick, Emma, and eventually Jimmy, who gets roped into it by Snake, who is running the Trivia Bowl team. And Jimmy does not like Rick, but in training for the event, he grows to like him a bit, and even gets friendly with him.
Nice.
So, meanwhile, Rick has decided he wants like a little revenge against some of his tormentors. So he spray paints like a big X on Spinner and Jay's cars after they throw him into a dumpster one day. And Spinner and Jay decide to team up to get him back for this. So Spinner was dating Paige for a while, but they've like just broken up. And he actually has like an amazing new haircut at this point, which I genuinely love. Hang on. I'm actually literally, hang on. Literally going to DEGRASSI Spinner season 4 haircut. I love this look.
Oh my goodness.
Where'd it go?
So this is our himbo?
This is our ADHD himbo. It's the smallest photo in the entire world, but we'll see it in a clip coming up. He's got like the half-shaved head with the kind of like undercut on the other side as well.
Serving.
It's such a look.
ADHD king.
Absolutely serving. Spinner is in a place where he is like very susceptible to bad ideas, you know, like every idea that Jay has ever had in his entire life. Okay, so the plan to get back at Rick for spray painting their cars. Jay, Spinner, and Jay's girlfriend, Alex, no relation, set up a prank at the Trivia Bowl. So Alex is the school co-president and has access to an area of the school above the stage. The trivia bowl gets down to the wire. A lightning round answered by Rick, not Ick. Answered by Rick is the deciding factor between victory and defeat. Let's go to the clip.
Oh no.
The Confederation Bridge links Prince Edward Island with what Canadian province?
New Brunswick.
A minimum of how many games does it take to win a set in tennis?
7.
What was the original home video game console introduced in 1972?
Magnavox Odyssey.
Sauron reigns over what territory?
Mordor.
Who spent 27 years in prison before being elected president of South Africa?
Nelson Mandela.
In what Robert Gold play does Sir Thomas More face a moral dilemma?
A Man for All Seasons.
Time! That's it! 50 points!
DEGRASSI wins! By the way, Roma, have you ever seen Carrie 1976? This will be fresh for you then.
Oh.
So it's yellow
and
paint,
feathered
actually.
him?
It really does look like cheese, though. Yeah.
My baby boy.
So, actually, we're going to stay on the clips for a moment.
Oh no.
Oops.
Okay.
I don't know what was going on there. So, Rick leaves the stage, humiliated at a point where he thought things were, like, finally turning around for him. Emma catches up to him in the hallway as he's trying to leave. She tries to convince him to stay, like, just stay. Whoever did this is going to get what's coming to them. And, like, you know, this is, like, what they want. They want you to feel humiliated. They want you to leave. Like, she's trying to comfort him. And he tries to kiss her. And she absolutely freaks out. She's like, I just felt sorry for you, you fucking freak. She doesn't say fuck, but...
Oh.
So Rick goes home. Oop, I almost panned away from the clip again. So here's where I trigger warn school shootings, but I would like to specify that I'm not trigger warning for mass shootings, because I feel there is a significant difference. You okay, Roma?
Yeah, it's the I understand this show is based in and produced in Canada, but you and I, as people who exist in the United States, I didn't even have to know. I saw a cabinet and I just already knew. I was like, don't, oh my God. And then, of course, I realized, I'm like, oh no, it's a Canadian show. Is this not insinuating a shooting? Is this insinuating like unaliving the self? And so I was like, oh no, am I misunderstanding the media based on my experience of where I live? And then I went, no,
Here's the
I
thing,
understood
though.
correctly.
You were thinking exactly along the lines that I think that you were supposed to be thinking. This is 2004, so this is like 5 years post-Columbine, and I believe Virginia Tech. This isn't like, this is before the huge boom of school shootings. So remember what I said before about history and DEGRASSI rhyming? we're going to talk about another sad outcast boy with glasses, Claude Tanner. So Claude dated Caitlin Ryan for a little while during a time where she and Joey weren't together. And after he and Caitlin broke up, he went into a really deep depression. Yeah. And we go back to a clip.
I like the look.
The drip is out of
quote
control
I'm seeing
for
is
Claude.
very deep and very intense. The what is it? Is it juicy fruit? The taste and the flavor out of control or whatever?
What has this place ever done for me? You're gonna get in trouble.
Oh, the drip.
No, I
Oh,
won't.
Lord. That's what just
Okay, let's get started. Did everyone finish reading Macbeth? Good. Now today I'd like to discuss Macbeth's character and contrast him with Banquo. Let's start off by describing Macbeth. If you remember from last time, I mentioned that Macbeth is the tragic hero. Now what do you think his fatal flaw would be?
First of all, I have to say, that scene is absolutely haunting. The clicking of his shoes on the tile is a lot.
and I'm sitting there, I'm like, why? I know I haven't seen the whole episode. I'm like, why is he dripping so hard? He's gonna slip.
That's what
He's
he wears like every
it's
day.
getting all over the place. And then it's like, oh, so it's not, he didn't wear that as a special occasion, air quotes.
That's just how he looks.
That's just how he looks. Oh, well,
yeah.
Shit. I need to change up my whole game.
So Claude ends up taking his own life on school property. RIP to a real one.
Oh!
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Sorry.
And Snake actually finds his body and is deeply shaken by this for months. And actually, that moment will affect Snake for like years to come. So I think that two simultaneous thoughts are supposed to occur to you if you are a longtime DEGRASSI fan when Rick gets out a gun of his own after a public humiliation. One, the creators are making a strong parallel to Claude. History often rhymes. Rick intends to take his own life. The other thought is that it's no longer 1991, and there is a vastly different thought that people have when a student gets a gun. So, back to the action. Rick comes back to school, still covered in paint and feathers, clutching his backpack. Toby tries talking to him, telling him to just stay at home, things will blow over. Let me just make sure that I don't have a clip for this. Okay, I don't. And Rick says, today he actually wants to be at school. Which somebody, I watched this YouTube essayist who's been doing like a whole series retrospective on DEGRASSI. She pointed out that Toby doesn't seem to realize that Rick has already been home, which is really scary in itself.
Like, you just like sat somewhere on a bench for a while and then like emerged or something like that. Oh my.
Rick goes and finds Paige in the cafeteria. So in his mind, I believe Rick sees Paige as like patient zero for people hating him.
Oh no.
Look, I know we're not exactly best friends. But I wanted to say that I thought the whole paint and feathers job was sickening. It was really childish.
I'm sorry for hurting Terry.
So, first of all, Paige MVP accidentally averting a huge crisis, perhaps? This seems to, like, really calm Rick down. Because to take notes from that YouTuber I mentioned before again, I think that in that moment he realizes, like, the last time he let his anger get the better of him, like, it basically caused all of this by putting Terry into a coma, right? And this seems to like ground him and calm him down. He goes to his locker and he puts his backpack in it. And then he goes into the bathroom to clean himself up. And then Jay and Spinner come into the bathroom laughing about the prank.
Hey, Jay, listen. Raditch knows, man.
About Jimmy? Yeah, I'm surprised nobody's figured it out yet.
Dude.
Jimmy set the whole thing up perfectly. The way he got all those easy sports questions wrong.
Yeah, and made sure Psycho Boy was all alone in the final round.
Never would have happened without a man on the inside.
So, part of the reason that Spinner goes along with that is between Rick leaving and coming back, Jimmy and Spinner had a fight about what happened to Rick. Because Jimmy knows that Spinner did this prank and tells Spinner to do something about it to make it right before he does. So then Spinner does this. Jay and Spinner do this.
I set the whole thing up.
Rick, come on, I defended you.
And then this happens.
Is that real?
Wait.
Oh. You pretended to be my friend. You made me do this.
Hold a Glock on Dre.
So, yeah, Jimmy has been shot.
Oh my! I was told to make Drake jokes today. Sorry, Tony, that's not happening right now. Oh my god!
Let me know if you need a break at any point here.
No,
Okay.
no, I'm
Just
I'm okay.
making
I'm
sure.
just more like the it's greatly appreciated. Just like wow. I will admit at this point that I have never had high expectations for DEGRASSI. Given again, I've never seen it. I never really had people in my life who like were super into DEGRASSI. We were all very much like, oh my god, Naruto, Tokyo Mew Mew. Like we were very much anime kids. So to now in the year of our Lord 2023, come and see the plot lines, the acting, like
it's good, right?
This is nuts. This is and it's good. I'm compelled.
Yeah.
Like oh my, I mean I'm stressed out, but in like the way that I'm supposed to be stressed out. I'm assuming. Oh my god.
So Rick roams the halls looking for another person who has done him wrong.
Rick, what are you doing?
Go lay No, stop.
You flirted with me. I thought you liked me, but that was something else. Just put the gun down, okay? Anything else is just gonna make your life worse. It can't get any worse. Believe me. It can. I know. We'll figure it all out, okay? We'll figure this all out. It's too late. No. You already shot someone. Stop!
Wait, okay. Was that an added additional 2? Oh no! Please don't do it. Oh my god. Ah.
So, what were you about to say? Was it added an additional to what?
DEGRASSI black hole. And then
So, Jimmy's in the
It's
hospital.
another one.
He is alive. But he is unable to walk.
Okay.
And he actually spends the rest of his time on the show in a wheelchair.
Oh.
Yeah. Drake's rap friends actually made fun of him for playing a character in a wheelchair. And he talked about that with one of the producers, and the producer was like, tell him you're in a wheelchair because you got shot. That's pretty hardcore. Exactly.
She got shot and lived, yeah. Wait a minute. So, hold on.
Yes, Jimmy is Drake.
So Jimmy is Drake, right? So what? Wait a minute. So
I don't know why
does
they
it
made
look
this
like
memorial.
Jimmy's dead?
It's really it does really look like he's dead. Also, you can't see it, but at the bottom it says why with 2 question marks, which always makes me laugh.
What a time to be alive. And
So 2005, I believe.
was this? Oh, God. Yeah.
So
oh,
Sean
man.
is minorly injured. Rick is dead. Emma is shaken. And notably, Snake is also shaken.
Yeah.
Going back to his last experience with a gun in his school.
I forgot. He's been here for the entire continuity.
Yeah.
Oh my man. They all need therapy. I got a good therapist. I have a phone number for them.
So,
oh my goodness.
Spinner is racked with guilt about pointing Rick towards Jimmy, despite not knowing that he had a gun. He eventually breaks down and tells both Jimmy and the new principal, and is promptly expelled, and his entire friend group stops talking to him.
Wait, can you run that by
Yeah,
me
his
one
entire
more
friend
time?
group
Did I
stops
hear that
talking to him.
correctly?
He gets expelled after he confesses to, like, being involved in the prank and pointing Rick towards Jimmy. Mm-hmm.
Hey, yo. I mean, like, hey, yo. There's so much.
Yeah.
So much is
And, yeah.
so worried about my children.
That gif of the woman with the puppies, and it's like, I can't help them. And let's talk about nuance real quick. And the narrative of the bullied school shooter. So, I know what people are probably thinking, did DEGRASSI really just do the school shooter was so bullied, ooh? Yes and no. So, like, yeah, Rick was bullied, but let's remember that he was bullied for putting his girlfriend into a coma. Additionally, it kind of ties into the fact that we already know that Rick has violent tendencies when he gets angry. It's not perfect, but there is live nuance to it.
Yeah. And from the sounds of it, this was not like, overnight either. This has been a buildup of sorts over time. Would you say, in your experience of watching this, I'm assuming in real time, Did it feel romanticized at all?
No. This episode is terrifying, to be honest.
Yeah, okay.
It's only gotten more terrifying with time, but it's a lot.
Whew.
So the aftermath here is that Sean actually goes home. Sean sees his estranged mother interviewed on the news crying about how she's like relieved that he wasn't hurt. And Sean takes all of his friends out to Wasaga Beach to tell her off, being like, you don't actually give a shit about me. His parents are like recovering alcoholics and were abusive to him. And they eventually make amends, and Sean decides to try living with them again for a little while. It's very sudden, to be honest. I wish there was a little bit more work done. This episode kind of sucks, even though I really like some moments in it. And we also have to talk about Ellie Nash with this. So Ellie Nash is a cute little golf journalist who can never and will never catch a break in her entire life. So she ends up dating Sean for a little while before this and moves in with him after he's emancipated, because her mother's an alcoholic, and one night she like passed out at the kitchen table, I guess while the stove was on or something, and like burned down their house at like the rock bottom of her alcoholism. Also, her dad's in the army. He's in Afghanistan or something. And whatever we were doing in 2004 in Canada was, I guess, helping. And so after this, so Sean just leaves and leaves Ellie too. So Ellie is just in this apartment by herself, and she has no way to pay rent, really. Eventually she gets some rent money by like gambling and I think hustling with Alex. By the way, Alex faces no consequences ever for her part in the prank. It's never even mentioned again.
Alex was the one that like partially reconciled, right?
No. She has no reconciliation with Rick or any of the group. Nobody ever seems to know or hear about this apart from Spinner and Jay. She was the student council person who like had access to above the stage and set up the paint and feathers.
That has to be a plot hole. Like that.
It basically is a plot hole. I think that
you got John Cena.
Yeah, I think that the writers are just kind of hoping we forget about it. Which, after a certain point, I'm willing to forget about it. Because they change her character so much after this, in a sense. She starts dating Paige in a whole, like, bisexual storyline that I absolutely love. And then she like, becomes a stripper for a couple of episodes, and that's when she and Paige break up. It's kind of stupid. She becomes a stripper because she needs the extra money to... She's 18 at this point. She needs the extra money to like support her and her mom. Yeah. Sorry, I forgot.
This child.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
But anyway, so Ellie eventually has to move back in with her mother. They really do a number on Ellie's character, but I'll get to that at the end. Anyway, let's go down to the ravine. Ooh. So, Jay Hogarth, expelled from high school for his involvement in the prank, and still being a bad influence, starts getting interested in Emma, who is still like numb from the school shooting and looking for any kind of thrill or connection after Sean has moved away as well. And she eventually goes on an excursion with him down to the ravine, a sort of hangout spot for like bad kids. It's a lot of drinking, a lot of drugs, you know. And he brings her to his van and they make out a little bit. Getting a clip.
It's for hooking up.
What?
You know what blowjobs are, don't you? Every player gets a prize.
So yeah,
I'm glad she got out of there.
yeah, believe it or not, that is the first time that word was said on Canadian television.
2 for 2.
Two
Let's
for
go.
two. Go DEGRASSI.
Blowjob.
Get fuck and blowjob.
Fuck.
Suck and fuck.
They did it. They succeeded.
Yeah, so let's talk about the sex bracelets. So Emma continues wearing the bracelet that Jay gave her and finds that this girl that she's been having trouble with, this girl has kind of been bullying her, who also has several bracelets. You can actually see her bracelets in the background here. This girl starts treating her differently when she notices Emma's bracelet. Emma is like really excited about this, and she mentions it to Jay, who lets her know that everyone else, the couple of other girls who have bracelets in school, actually earned their bracelets. And she decides to earn hers.
Oh?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, was this a decision in good faith and good conscience, or is this like a
She's not like coerced or anything.
Okay.
Jay is like, you know, like everyone else actually earned yours. You got yours for free. And she like comes back and she's like, I actually want to earn mine.
Okay.
Which kind of, you know,
she's cool
girl
with
boss.
It. Get your bracelet.
Mm-hmm. So anyway, it turns out there's a gonorrhea outbreak at DEGRASSI.
I wonder.
Ooh, and
why.
you know, Emma's throat's been feeling weird the past couple of days.
I wonder why.
So yeah, Jay gave several girls gonorrhea.
I've heard this story at my own high school a few times.
I should mention that Alex and Jay are still dating at this point, and this is how Alex finds out that Jay has been cheating on her. And we get
2-timer tally number 3.
And we get this.
I guess a several timer.
Several timer, yeah. Let's say like 4-timer.
Does that get a second tally?
I'm not sure. That's up to you. Yeah. So we get this amazing scene.
Lexi, it was nothing. Come on.
Lexi is late for her scene.
You want a scene, JT? Hey, best friend Amy, let's give JT a scene.
Oh!
Tell me about the ravine, Amy. About how you went down on my boyfriend, Amy. And the bracelets you got for it? I didn't sleep with him.
By whose definition?
Just come outside, Alex.
Don't touch me. Don't talk to me. I'll deck your smug face, too.
You should have decked him first.
Yeah. I also gotta say, in doing this, making these clips, I realized how many DEGRASSI scenes end with characters being like, just kind of like dramatically staring off into the distance.
And you know, my brain went to the onset energy of it, of like they've done the scene and then the pause and cut.
Yeah, exactly.
Goodness.
So Emma eventually confesses to her parents how numb she's felt after the shooting. And she also says that she probably needs to get tested. And oh boy, if you could see the look on Snake's face. Wait, I can show you.
Oh boy.
I just need to go to the health unit tomorrow.
There's something going around the school right now, but it's a very specific group. And Em, if you're worried, there's a good chance you don't have to be.
I have to be. Emma.
Yeah, so Snake, not pleased.
You know, that's he's. I don't know what happens after this moment ends, but he's handling it.
It's like the end of the
well
episode.
Enough. Okay, seems like he's handling it fine enough.
Yeah, this face really
For this
gets
situation?
me though. Like,
It was,
Yeah. And now we're going to talk about a character and a plot that I'm going to go over briefly because I feel I have to talk about this. The grossest storyline in early Next Generation. Mr. Oleander. There's a new student teacher at school, Mr. Oleander, and Paige has a crush on him. He refutes her, because of course he does. Of course he should. And Paige persists. And they start dating.
No!
Mm-hmm.
Where's your mother?
And, you
What's going on?
Who could have seen this coming? But their relationship gets revealed when Manny and Paige have a fight in the hallway, and Manny calls Oleander a pedophile in front of a lot of people. And Oleander gets fired, because fucking of course he does.
Why didn't he go to jail?
I don't know. I think he cannot teach in Canada ever again, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so then he and Paige just kind of like date for a while. Like they continue dating after this.
How old is Paige?
She's like 15, 16?
Mm-mm.
I think the reason he didn't go to jail might be because she's 16 and that's the age of consent in Canada.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well.
I mean, it's the age of consent in a lot of US states, too. Listen, I know I'm not advocating for this at all. I think it's gross as hell. The initial story is like, okay, it's okay. But then the narrative just does not condemn this. They're treated like any other relationship. It's nuts. Why would you do this?
I'm story time really fast.
Mm-hmm.
When I was about 16 years old, I was dating like a 20-year-old, which should not have been the case. I was definitely not mentally ready enough to be dating a 20-year-old. But that it did lead to an argument between me and my dad, and I went through and I'm like going through local laws to be like, I'm legally allowed to do this, Dad. And my dad was a person of law. He wasn't a police officer, but he was in that like department of a job. I don't remember the career field. And then he had something to refute that, but I don't remember what it was, or if he just used his dad powers to be like overruled. But so that's why I'm sitting here. I'm like, I don't think you could do that.
I will say that Oleander is supposed to be like 22 or 23. He's a student teacher.
That was the part I missed. Student teacher. In my brain, I'm like, the man's 40.
Yeah, no. I mean, he kind of looks like he's 35, but he's supposed to be in his early 20s.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so I just felt I had to bring that plot up because I feel I would be doing everyone a disservice if I didn't talk about this incredibly gross plot. And the gross way it's handled. So let's get into our final plot of the night. Thank you for letting me go for so long.
I'm here for it.
So let's talk about Liberty Van Zandt. Liberty is a straight A student. She's an all-star. She has had a long-time crush on JT, like since season 1. She's initially like very socially awkward, but she eventually finds her footing. And Liberty and JT are my OTP.
Look at them.
No one will ever beat them.
They're so cute.
They're really great. I love them together. They mesh really well. And towards the end of season 4, they actually start dating. Yeah.
Yay!
And over the summer between seasons 4 and 5, they apparently had sex a lot.
Hey, yo!
Yeah.
I guess as long as they're happy.
Yeah, penis pump, who needs it?
Who needs it?
JT brags about this to Toby, and Liberty does not appreciate it.
Is that the third time that's happened?
Something like that.
I have too many I'm keeping track of way too many things going on amongst these people.
And so over the last month, Liberty has kind of like been icing him out altogether. And so they talk about it on their drive to school one day.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
I love when people say
shouldn't have made
sorry
those
on
jokes
DEGRASSI.
Sorry.
I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry, I
let our
shouldn't have
sex
made
life,
those
period.
jokes.
It was stupid.
I don't know why you're making such a big deal out of this.
Because you talk without thinking. You're immature. You're a clown.
You treat me like a kid. Okay, you bossed me around and you wouldn't even let me audition for the video announcements. You decide everything.
Grow up, JT.
Respect me, Liberty. Okay, and then maybe we can make a decision together for once.
We did. Last summer, remember? We decided to use the king-size condom. The one that slipped off. I'm pregnant.
Oh my god!
One of the reactions of all time.
Oh. Yeah, have you seen those vines where, like, for example, the car's honked and it's the cat jumping off the hood of the car and it goes bwomp, bwomp, bwomp.
I think so, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So,
With the...
I want to make a version of that where that whole clip plays and he crashes into the thing and it does the, I think it's the beat from Teach Me How to Ducky. I can't remember. But, oh god.
I would love to see that.
That's nutty. I'll see if I can make it happen.
So yeah, this is my favorite plot ever. This is the one that I was talking about. This is the JT and Liberty plot that I was following in real time and I was so invested in. I love the JT Liberty pregnancy. I watched this live and I have so much nostalgia for it. I find this a really good and interesting plot to give these characters in particular. Because Liberty is not the type of person you would expect this to happen to. And JT is not at all ready to have anywhere near this type of responsibility. And they handle it so terribly. They just implode. It's so juicy.
The drama!
It's so good.
Goodness.
So what's the plan? So, first, they're going to have a live relationship drama where they break up and get back together. Afterwards, they need to figure out how to tell Liberty's parents and JT's grandma. They suspect that neither of these go well, so they try to make plans to move into an apartment together. And while they're making those plans, they tell grandma and parents. So hang on. Also, I think JT is an orphan or something. I forget the details of his parentage. I know his father ran out on him. I think his mother is dead and his grandma is raising him. Which is why they're telling his grandma and not his parents.
Yeah. My grandma would have been cool with it if I told her.
Good morning, Mrs. Cooney.
Oh, Liberty, I am so happy you've taken this one back. Luck of the Irish he's cut.
We're both very lucky.
Speaking of which, we have great news. We're having a baby.
You can't be serious.
Yeah, we are. We're going to be parents.
James Tiberius, do you have any idea what it takes to raise a child? You are far, far too young.
Well, I thought that you could help us. I mean, you raised Mom and me.
And I'm not planning to spend my retirement going through it again. Have you thought about adoption?
We've considered it, but no.
Look, Grandma, we love each other, okay? That's all that matters. And the rest we'll figure out.
The way your father figured it out, by leaving you and your mother when the going got rough.
Not like him. Not at all.
And then they tell Liberty's parents.
JT, please don't make me do this.
Liberty, we can't keep avoiding this, okay? We have to tell your parents.
After what happened with your grandma?
So she didn't take it so well.
That's nothing, JT. Okay, your grandma's a lamb. My parents are lions.
Well, Liberty, you're their daughter. Maybe they'll understand.
Excuse me? You're doing what?
I'm moving in with JT.
Why would you want to do that? So you can be with him?
I have a name, sir.
I wasn't talking to you.
Well, you will be, okay? Because I'm the father of your first grandchild.
What?
Mom, Dad, please try not to be angry. Dad, please say something.
What would you like me to say? That I'm happy? That I'm proud of you?
I know. I'm stupid.
It's not your fault, Liberty. It's the fault of that fool standing beside you.
Stop it, Dad. Okay, JT's been amazing. He's taking good care of us.
Liberty, you're our daughter. And we'll help you any way that we can.
Which is why we can't allow you to move out. We need you here to help you through this, as a family.
I get it. You want JT out of the picture.
I never want to see him here as long as I live.
Well, that's unfortunate. Because JT's not going anywhere. JT, let's start packing.
The music!
Yeah.
That was a WWE promo. And she's about to throw a goddamn chair at her dad.
She really is.
Oh my god.
So
I know what you mean.
So JT gives up a job that he has on a kid's public access show in order to take a job at a pharmacy to like earn more money. The public access show is a volunteer job, basically. And they need a lot of money, not only for a deposit on an apartment, but also because raising a baby is really expensive. Isn't that right?
Oh, the little jingle, that was cute.
So Roma, pop quiz. This is a free write. How do you think JT and Liberty are going to get the money?
Oh no. I'm not gonna lie, my gut says that JT's gonna start selling drugs. Because he worked. Okay, I even didn't even consider the part about the pharmacy. Is he gonna start stealing from the pharmacy and selling the drugs? This is literally, I'm pulling this out of my ass.
Roma, you hit the nail exactly on the head. Yep.
This is the most excited I've ever been about answering a question right now.
So Jay Hogart, the bad idea bear of DEGRASSI, tells JT that he can get crazy money for oxycodone. So JT steals from the pharmacy and then sells it down at the ravine. Illegal. It is illegal. So he gets an advance from the drug dealer that he sells it to, with the promise of getting him more worth the rest of the money that the drug dealer gives him. And then, Liberty finds out about the drugs. And the pharmacist is really suspicious. And the guy who JT sold the drugs to and gave him an advance on the condition that he gets more drugs, but JT doesn't want to steal anymore, and Liberty left him anyway. So after this moment here, he does get the last of the owed drugs to the dealer down at the ravine. And then he decides to party with them. Because he's in a bad place right now.
In my brain, it was just like, well, I'm going to just party. But no, it's nothing matters. So
yeah, he's already here and nothing matters.
I just asked the girl who's carrying my kid.
Uh-oh. Bun in the oven.
Yeah. And thanks to these, I'm dead to her.
Come on, man. It'll be okay.
It's okay. I lost my girl. I lost my best friend. I lost my job and my family. I know I'm probably going to jail.
Hey, bummer times. At least there's a party.
Sunglasses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He just took that dry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, check it out. Stockboy's gonna be a pappy.
Hey, congrats, stud. Hey, this one's on me.
He's not. No.
Actually, it's on me.
Hey, buddy. Hey. Somebody get the car. Somebody get the car.
Mm-hmm.
No, that stressed me out.
Yeah. So hang on. You shouldn't have seen that quite yet. So I know what you're thinking. Did he fucking live? He did. JT goes to the hospital and will be fine. Liberty's dad, who is a lawyer, explained the whole situation to the pharmacist, and they're going to work something out. The pharmacy isn't going to press charges.
Great.
Liberty is going to put the baby up for adoption.
Okay.
JT, did you try to kill yourself? What were you thinking? Leaving me alone with all this?
I'm sorry.
Sorry, too.
Liberty, I screwed up, okay? Don't take it out on the baby.
We both screwed up. I'm going to the adoption agency. JT, it'll be for the best.
Yep.
They did not.
They did.
They did not. Oh my.
So, sorry, I actually have
no.
to get you to go into the screen share again.
Okay.
It's one of
Discord.
the faces of all time.
Hold on. Hacker voice, I'm in.
Sorry about that.
Oh, you're good.
JT's ugly cry makes me laugh so much. It's such a sad moment, but man, that face.
I remember the first time I heard of an ugly cry.
Mm-hmm.
I was in middle school, and there was my best friend at the time. Her and her three brothers they grew up in foster care together.
Mm-hmm.
Until she's the eldest. So when she was in middle school and they were in elementary school, they were adopted by distant relatives. And that distant relative was a hard, she was a very kind and generous, Mormon woman, but she had an iron fist.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember one day, one of the boys was crying over something minute, you know what I mean? Kid, it's very real for the kid, but it was just a really small thing. And she's just like, you need to stop that. You're not even cute when you cry. You've got the ugliest cry I've ever seen. And I was like, you said that to a child.
That's fucked up.
And it's and then gestures to his older sister, and it's just she could cry and she could plop her ass in a movie. She was the most beautiful cry you've ever seen, but her little brother did not get any of that in genetics.
Damn.
Did not. It's damn.
Ice cold.
Yeah, I was not ready for that. I was oh shit.
So yeah.
But yeah, no.
I bet you're wondering now what happens with Liberty at this point.
Yeah, I'm curious. What's
so Liberty basically has the baby off screen in the B plot of an episode.
Oh no.
Yeah. Annoyingly, Liberty is kind of a side character in her own pregnancy. It's really frustrating, and it goes right in the pile of black women who DEGRASSI does dirty.
Yeah.
Along with Hazel, who I didn't mention in this I only vaguely alluded to in this presentation because she gets one storyline over 5 seasons, really, or at least one solo story. And Chantel, who was on the show for, I believe, 7 or 8 seasons and literally never got her own story.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So yeah, just some other things. There are several characters who just like get ruined over the course of their time on the show. Ellie, I mentioned. After she starts out really strong. She's like Ashley's friend. She's got all the goth stuff. She's got her journalism. She gets this really hard-hitting storyline where she starts self-harming, and it's a really good episode. And then at some point, she like gets this big crush on Craig, and every story becomes about Craig. Becomes about how like she really wants to be with Craig. Craig has never been interested in her, but she's like obsessed with him. And it just does not stop until the end of her character. Marco, who I sadly didn't really mention in this presentation, even though I love his character, he was canonically out as gay in the 2nd or 3rd season, in like 2003 or 4, and which is astonishing, especially for like a teen show around this era. Eventually he just starts like cleaning up everyone else's drama. He just kind of fades into the background. He has a couple of interesting storylines. He has like a gambling addiction at one point. There's also Peter, who I didn't mention here. He sucks initially, and then he gets a lot better, and he eventually emancipates himself, and then immediately after he like does meth at a party one time accidentally and is like addicted to meth now. And it's so much. And his girlfriend sort of leaves him over it because she gets this opportunity to go model in Paris, aka she went to go play Elena on the Vampire Diaries. Oh, I'm sorry, my cat is playing with his stuff.
It's loud. I haven't seen Vampire Diaries either, but I have passively watched a whole video about the
Oh yes, Jay Nicholson.
Yes. I have seen that video. But I don't remember which one Elena is.
She's the main girl.
Yeah, I still don't know who that is.
It's okay. I haven't watched it myself. So some final thoughts. There was going to be a continuation on HBO. It was announced in January of 2022, and I got so excited. We were at lunch at work, and we saw that, and I literally fronted for a minute and like gasped and like, freaked out. That's dead now. Because of HBO reasons. So they were supposed to start shooting that July, and then a bunch of stuff happened with HBO, and we just kind of never got any updates on it. And I think like a few months later, it was confirmed canceled. I'm going to be honest, I'm kind of relieved. Like, no one from the original crew was involved. Like, Snake's actor, not involved. Linda Schuyler and Kit Hood, not involved. It felt really off from the get-go. Yeah, this show is really special to me. I really enjoy this show a lot, and I'm really glad that I got to talk to you for like 3 hours about it. Thank you
for making this beautiful PowerPoint and sharing with me this piece of media that I probably never would have given the time of day. Not in the sense that I like refused to, but I just never like sat down and gave it a chance. And now I'm absolutely obsessed. These children stress me out.
Let me tell you something.
What's up?
So previously, the show was available completely for free, the entire thing on YouTube officially. And then HBO bought the rights and then proceeded to not use them, but I think they're still on HBO Max and they're not available on YouTube in America anymore. But if you were to, say, get a VPN and put your location as like Canada or Germany or like anywhere but the US, you can still go and watch every season for free.
Oh.
On the official Degrassi YouTube.
Oh. Wow.
Mm-hmm. It's really, it's such a good series. There are a lot more things that, you know, are a lot more serious that I didn't cover. Paige gets an incredibly serious storyline at the beginning of season 2 that I don't even want to talk about because it's very distressing to me. And the series is just good. I like the characters. I like the writing. In like season 10, I think they get a trans character.
Ooh.
This was in like 2010, 2011, which is like really early for like a mainstream show, basically, to be talking about trans issues. The character was played by a cis actress. He's a trans man, which, you know, not cool these days, but I think that there was something to it at the time, especially because they didn't initially introduce him as trans. And Next Class gets a non-binary character.
Ayo.
Also, I do have to tell the one annoying thing about Adam, the trans character. He is killed in a texting and driving incident at the end of his time in the series. And I think it was like at the end of his senior year, basically. And I think it's because they didn't want to have to write around the fact that Adam definitely would have wanted to start taking testosterone as soon as he was like able to. And, you know, they're not going to have this cis actress start taking hormones for this acting gig, as rad as that would theoretically be, I guess. And so they just killed him, I guess, which is not cool. Yeah.
Man.
But the other gay characters are fantastic.
That's good. Because I think a lot of what we talked about up to this point had little to no queer representation, except for the one that you mentioned that wasn't mentioned in the PowerPoint. But so it's kind of I find it very I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but I think it's very neat that they address it more and more in the later parts of the series.
Yeah, really in the early parts of the series too. Marco is like confirmed as gay in season 2 or 3. And he starts dating somebody the season after that. Before Ellie was obsessed with Craig, by the way, she was obsessed with Marco and really like wanted to date him before she found out he was gay. Yeah, so that's another point for Ellie. The queer rep on this show is great. I think that the writing is pretty strong throughout. And I think even if like you decide to not watch the first 5 seasons that I've talked about here, even beyond that is like there's really good stuff.
Oh my goodness. And so you said all of it's available on Canadian YouTube? Including the newer stuff, or is that like Netflix only?
Not Next Gen, that's Netflix, or not Next Class, that's Netflix only. But you can watch Degrassi Junior High, Degrassi High, and Degrassi Next Generation all on YouTube.
Heck yeah.
That's like 19 seasons of television. Also, seasons 10 through 14 go to a soap opera format where they were showing an episode every day. So instead of having like 20-ish episodes a season, they had like 40-ish episodes a season. Yeah. So there's a lot of Degrassi if you want to watch it.
There's plenty of bread for you, Birdie. Do you like the bread?
Any questions?
No, hold on. I guess it's not a question, but it's a recap. So we have the DeGrassi black hole. We have Jay as an Eminem poster because he's a bad boy. The 2-timer tally.
Oh, that's Sean. Yeah.
Sean. We have the 2-timer tally at 3. The 2 craziest words were fuck and blowjob. And 3 people bragged about having sex with somebody, and that person was not okay with it.
Yeah. That's DeGrassi.
That's DeGrassi.
So thank you for listening to my presentation.
Thank you for your presentation. Oh my goodness. I'm so excited to offload my newfound information on Tony and very excited for Tony to watch this episode. I'm also very excited for everyone else to watch this episode when it releases. But I think because the conversation is so fresh in my mind, I'm like, this is what for you, baby. Oh my goodness. I don't even. You've probably mentioned it already, but could you refresh me on who's your favorite character in all of Degrassi?
Ooh, in all of Degrassi?
Yeah. Or if you have like a handful of favorites.
Yeah, I have a handful of favorites. I think that Paige for sure. I think I didn't mention her, but Ali Bendari, she's a fantastic character. I ended up really liking Darcy, who I also didn't mention in this, but especially in season 7, she gets a really interesting story. Spinner. Spinner is around for like most of the series. He's up through like season 9 or 10 from season 1. And Holly J as well. JT to a degree. I mostly like JT, as the comic side character, and also in the pregnancy storyline.
Yeah.
Those are my favorites.
Oh yeah. That pregnancy storyline was buck wild.
It's so good.
Yeah. Is there anything like any plot thing in any I'm just gonna use this as an example. So the JT pregnancy plotline. Would there be anything in that you would want to change? And that you can change the plot line out for any plot line, but if there was like one thing you could change to make everything like perfect,
I would make more of the JT and Liberty pregnancy storyline about Liberty, because I literally forgot to say Liberty right there.
Oh my goodness.
And the fact they just do her so dirty at the end. She gets a really nice kind of cap to this story where she puts the baby up for adoption, and she is supposed to have like sort of open visitation rights with the baby, but the family is actually moving across the country to British Columbia, or it might even be Washington. But she's like really upset about it, and she and her brother and a couple of her brother's friends are like, "Hey, let's make a chest that you can give to the baby of like stuff all about you and your life and your friends right now that the baby can have later on." And I thought that was a really nice ending to it. I really wish that her like having the baby wasn't the B plot of an episode. I thought that was stupid.
Yeah.
Though I do like that Toby is like, please don't have the baby in my grandma's car. Which is very funny. Please not in Bobby's car. I think if I were to change a singular thing about the school shooting plotline, I would make Alex face a consequence, or at least have it mentioned that she never faces any consequences, or like maybe Jay and Spinner are like protecting her from any sort of fallout.
Yeah.
Which I think maybe can be like the hand wave explanation of it.
Yeah. Like, retracted and redacted. This is what happened.
Yeah, exactly. And I would have Paige and Alex be endgame.
Yeah?
Yeah. I like them as a couple. I think they work really well together. I know I didn't mention them, but I only had time for so many things.
Ah, yes, Paige. Sometimes I can't put names to faces, but like I have their information piled separately in my brain, so I was able to do the Google search and mush it all together and be like, I understand. Now I know. Oh my goodness. Thank you again. I'm probably gonna say this a lot. It's been an absolute honor to experience this through you. I love how do I describe it? I love seeing people's things that they love the most through their eyes. You know what I mean? Like it's a whole like whether it's how like Tony perceives their friends, you know what I mean? Like I love experiencing that and like the way that he talks about them, or I could go on a list forever, but I just loved experiencing Degrassi through you. And this is the universe's reason why I haven't. I was lucky.
He brought me Ducky.
He brought me Ducky. The universe told me you're not allowed to watch this because Susan's about to explain it to you in 27 years.
Well,
perfect.
If you do end up watching it, I want to hear all of your thoughts forever.
Absolutely.
I love having more people to talk about with it. And it always makes me happy that basically every person that I've shown any amount of episodes of Degrassi to has been like, this is really good.
Yeah, I was expecting it to be like, what is the, like, I was expecting it to have real, like, reality show energy. I was sincerely anticipating it to be reality show stuff. I was not anticipating it to be, like, such a well-produced, like, scripted, like, well-acted, storyline show versus, like, I thought it was just unnecessary high school drama for no reason kind of show.
It's a little bit, but
well,
in a better way than like a reality show.
Yeah. It's where, you know, yeah, exactly. So that definitely it's I guess it's kind of interesting how you just assume things are when you don't really like put it as many brain cells into something. So thank you for adding brain cells to that basket for me.
I'm always happy to bring Degrassi to the masses. And
yes,
I am so sorry to anyone who has their lives ruined because they can only consume and talk about Degrassi from now on.
Yeah. So sorry.
I'm so sorry.
It's a joke. Joke. I can't even pronounce it like how JT pronounced it.
He is the most Toronto man of all time. Paige is also really Toronto.
Oh my god. Oh my gosh. So I got a bunch of pictures of Alex on my screen right now, and one of them is just the hardest mean mug I've ever seen in my life, and I wasn't ready to make direct eye contact. I was like, oh.
Yeah, she was a mean girl, bad girl for a while, basically until she broke up with Jay.
Sorry, I need to stop looking at Alex.
I mean, I get it.
Well, is there anything else that you would like to touch base on about Degrassi?
I think that's it. I didn't get to talk about Paige much because a lot of her storyline, her most notable storylines are kind of serious and kind of like a little too serious. I know I talked about a school shooting, but like,
yeah,
it's serious in a way that I don't really want to talk about. She gets sexually assaulted at the beginning of season 2, and she has like a big long plot line about that.
Yeah. Okay. No, I completely understand and I completely respect that.
Yeah. And things to look forward to after this point, if you continue watching Degrassi, Spinner becomes a born again Christian to get with this girl.
Woo!
Craig turns out to be bipolar. Kevin Smith shows up a few episodes because he's a big Degrassi fan.
Kevin Smith?
Yeah, director of Clerks, Dogma, Jay and Silent Bob,
Who is
Chasing
that? Hold on.
Amy. I can name more Kevin Smith movies. Hang on.
This is my embarrassing moment. You know how like someone's like, "Hey, have you seen Star Wars? Do you like Star Wars?" And you're like, "No, I haven't seen Star Wars." And they go, "What?" Oh, okay, I know who this guy is. But my brand of neurodivergency says I like watching cartoons more than I like watching real people.
That's fair.
And so I have not seen. Also, my ADHD says you don't have time to sit down and watch anything with real people in it anyway. So when you listed all those movies, I'm like, I know they exist. I've seen them on the shelves of Blockbuster, but I do not recall ever watching it.
I've only seen Dogma.
I've never heard of it.
Pretty good.
Well, I've heard of the word dogma, but I've not heard of the movie.
Alanis Morissette plays God in it.
Who's Alanis Morissette?
She's a Canadian singer. Do you know
I
You
would
Oughta
love-
Know? Or like One Hand in My Pocket? I got one hand in my pocket. Oh, Ironic?
Isn't it
It's like
ironic?
rain.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's Alanis
Yeah,
Morissette.
she's allowed to be God. Yeah, no, she earned that one.
Yep.
Oh my
Anyway,
goodness.
that's all I have to say about DEGRASSI for now.
Well, if somebody listens or watches this episode of the Hyperfixation and goes, "God damn, I really need to talk to Susan about DEGRASSI right now," where could they reach out to you to talk about DEGRASSI?
In the Hyperfix Discord is probably the easiest way. I mean, you could also message me on Instagram, I guess. I have an Instagram where I post some of my instant photography stuff. That's QZPop, QUSIEPOP on Instagram. You could also tweet me at We Are Alexandra, which is our general system Twitter. I don't have my own Twitter because I don't. Yeah. And I think you should all listen to my sister's show, the Three Little Words podcast, where they read and rank romance novels on steaminess, dreaminess, and meminess. I'm actually in an episode that's coming out. It'll be out for like a couple of weeks when this comes out. But we read a book that was pretty bad, and I talked about it.
Hey, yo. I believe if I'm looking at my calendar correctly, hold on. This will come out on the 28th.
Yeah, so it'll have been out for like 3 weeks at this point.
So if you didn't know it happened, and we're telling you from the past. You need to go to that right now.
Go listen to Kidnapping in Cameron Glen.
Kidnapping?
Yep, it's the sequel to Mountain Retreat Murder. A book that did not have a murder in it.
Did this one have a kidnapping in it?
Very much had a kidnapping.
So maybe there was a murder. I don't know. What do you call it? Thank you again for sharing all the.
Thanks for having me.
And so listen, if you wanted to tell me any other fun facts about DEGRASSI that I may not know about, or your OTPs or whatever, or your experiences, you can also do that in the Hyperfixation Discord underneath DEGRASSI in season 3. If you need the link, I will give it to you. But it should be in the notes somewhere in the show notes. But you can also tweet at me at I appreciate your butt at the Twitter doc. That is IAPPRECI, the number 8UTT. That or the Hyperfixation Twitter, which is the Hyperfix Pod. They're on Tumblr, TikTok. We should figure out how to do TikTok. I don't even know where to begin. I'm already thinking about the thumbnail. And then I think this is where I'll plug in the other stuff with the patrons and such. Thank you to Offuscate at OFUSKATE for the intro and outro music. You can find them on Twitter, Instagram, and SoundCloud. And also, thank you to the Moonshot Network. You can find them at twitch.tv/Moonshot Network, twitter.com/Moonshot Pods, or you can support them on Patreon and all the podcasts in the network at patreon.com/Moonshot Network. Our patrons for this month who get a shout out on the podcast are Ver, Becky Scott Fairley, Ken, and Flo. Thank you so much for y'all's support and keep being awesome. Fuck, I love you guys. Be safe, everybody.
Yeah.
Don't die. Is there
Watch
like
out for Rick.
Watch out for Rick. Thank you. You read my mind. And Badoo. Again.